says, V'hinei, Kol ma sheyayrich bin yonim el b'machshavti. When a person is giving himself musaf, and he's giving himself musaf for timtum, and again, the two critical points about why you're permitted to give yourself musaf for timtum, number one is vasiba, he gasos a klipa, any timtum comes from klipa. And number two, that an abandoni nishama shenasata be dafka, abandoni's nishama is added, the essence of the abandoni is nefesh bahamis, and therefore giving yourself musaf for having taivas, for the fact that the davening doesn't, the Avas Hashem and the Yiras Hashem of Davening is not sustained. And specifically for Chatas Nu'urim. And if you don't have Chatas Nu'urim HaChamurim, for Mara the Chushban, and if you don't have Chesreinis and Asaytev Mara the Chushbana, it's because of the Chalei Misrayim, which are a siman that you could have worked harder on a given day, and therefore you're beating yourself up. And you'll find out how the Alter Rebbe understands Musa. Kol Mashiach Ben Yonim El B'Machshavtei, no matter how much detail, how much time one elaborates in this, in his thought, in giving yourself Musa. As well as looking into Sifrei Musa. To assist his heart to be broken inside of himself, and shamed in his eyes, nimbus and disgusted. As it's described in the Psukim and Tilim in a lot of places. B'tachlis is the absolute measure of disgust. And be disgusted with his life mamash, says the Rebbe, when you hate yourself in this way and in this context, and you embarrass yourself and you act disgusting towards yourself, through this, you're disgusting and shaming and you're lowering it to dust. And you're bringing it down from its greatness and its haughtiness and its gaiva. Vigavhus and its loftiness. Shemagbi atzma, that it lifts itself up al ergdushas nefesh alekis, over the light and holiness of the divine soul, lahachashachera, to make its light darkened. Now the words Shemagbi atzma are explained very well tomorrow's shir. Gvaldik, very deep, very geschmack. The chiddush of the Alter Rebbe, chiddush of Chassidus. The darkness is a sheker. It's heder ha'er. It's not a mitzias. Klipa's whole reality is a power of suggestion. If a Jew doesn't believe Klipa, he sees Klipa as nothing. If a Jew believes Klipa, he creates the Metzias of the Klipa. So the whole Klipa is the Magbiya Atzma. It's the power of the suggestion. And when you burst, as they say in American, curse yourself out, Leiv Nishbar, Ruach Nishbar, you're breaking Klipa. V'gam, moreover, in addition to observing how lowly you are for the reasons listed, you scream at yourself with a loud and angry voice. And by the way, the Alter Rebbe says, b'machshavtei, you scream and shout, but no one has to hear it. Only you hear it. Lash spielt lowered mind, but as Al Digmara says later, that person was always angry. Anger, the Yitzhak of the Yitzhak Hashem, as the pasuk says, rigzuv agemed. The person has to make himself angry, right? Rigzuv al techto. It's a Gemara Mesam Mesach the Brachas. The Hainu. Lir gaze and Evashal Habam is to be angry at his animal soul. Shehi Yitzhak Hara, which is his Yitzhak Hara. Bekel Raj Veregez in a loud and an angry voice, b'machshavtei, in his thought, leimalei, to tell himself as follows. And here goes the Alter Rebbe's skill at Musa. Atara, you are evil. Verosha, and a sinner. Umeshukas, and you're disgusting. Umenuvel, and you're abominable. Umenuvel, and you're filthy. V'choli, etc. Kechol Hashemis shekadu lechachmeinu lecheinu levracha b'yemes. By all the names that Chachamim give the Yetzer Hara be'emes. Now the word be'emes is one of those words in Tanya. You have a few of them that vestach. Mikrois she'ein lo mehechera. Does the be'emes go before or after? Does it go chenzal be'emes or be'emes ad mosei? In any case, ad mosei tas telefnei. You didn't say baruch till when are you going to block and hide over the Ein Sof? Hamamale kolam, which reveals itself in all of the worlds. Ha yahai v'viyeh b'shavah. He past, present, and future are the same, which is really save of Kalam, but he calls it Mamali. I suppose that it's Gili, if not for the fact that there's Hester Panim from Klippa. Gamba Mokum Azashani love, including the very spot I'm on. That didn't say just before Hashem created the world. Ein Sof was alone and is revealed. Now too, Ein Sof is alone and is revealed without any change. Or in the language of Perek Chaf Gimel, and in Kama Mekemes, Beli has their Ponim, and Chav Beis it's mentioned too. There's no concealment of the Ein Sof, and therefore it's infinite mamish. As the pasuk says in Yad Hashem Leishanisi, that when the Eibush created the world, no change took place. This pasuk was quoted in Tanya Perek Chaf. From before to after the creation, as far as Hashem is concerned, there is no time, and therefore there is no reality. It's symptoms of Shalei. This lashon l'mayla me'azman, that from cooking in Sharichat Muniped Exayim, but in Kanamak. And you menuvel. Makrashem is denying the truth on Nidaleinaim, which can be seen to the eyes. I didn't know you could see godliness with your eyes, but the Alter Rebbe says that this menuvel, the Yetzer Hara, is denying the truth. And what is the truth? The kulak make lamamish behemis. That in presence of the Eibush, everything is nothing, and it is. It's a vivid and a clear vision. Stop. So Alter Rebbe describes how a person gives himself musar. Now, of course, the deal is, why would a person who's depressed depress himself more? Now, here's a guy who's down. He's trying every trick other than depression to overcome the depression, and he's failing, right? He's trying every trick other than atzvos to defeat atzvos. He tries simcha. He tries being mekabel yisurim b'yava. He tries putting aside a special time for tshuva. He tries all the different eitas, including begging Hashem rachmanos. They fail. So he's frozen in a state of psychological and spiritual stuckness, right? He's stuck. He's unporous. He's no life. What's the eitzah? Beat yourself up. Okay, the heter is that it comes from klipa. The heter is that you're a behema. In other words, ikir ha'adam al-beni is behema. But why? The whole Chassidus is predicated on simcha. And the answer you'll see in Tanya Perek Lamed Aleph, the Rebbe is going to say, the bottom line is you don't have a choice. And it's a last resort. Because as you guys already remember from Chavav, Tanya views tshuva as poison. It's evil, but necessary. The advantage is not the tshuva itself, the musar itself, is the simcha achar ha'as. So here's a guy beating up on himself. Why? Because he's frozen, he's stuck. Now what's the teyelis? The teyelis is I use a psychological form. There's a phenomenon called hitting rock bottom. Right? It's true in drug abuse and other things. When a person gets bad, it cannot get worse, they spring back. They did have. When a person is down, the person is frozen. The problem is that they're not feeling pain. They're numb. If the person would feel pain, they would wake up. What you're doing to yourself in beating up on yourself, in effect, is going from numbness to tzad. You're making it hurt. The kavanah in making it hurt is that you should feel the pain and wake up. And the Alter Rebbe has a philosophy. And this philosophy will be underscored briefly in today's shir, the next few lines. And barichas in tomorrow's shir, which is much longer. And the philosophy is, the core of every person is a lakus. The core of everything is a lakus. A lakus is the only thing that's real. Behema is not the opposite of a lakus, it's the lack of a lakus. Klipa is not the opposite of kedusha, it's the lack of kedusha. When you break klipa, the kedusha emerges. When you break klipa, the kedusha comes out. And when the top of page is 74. When you break klipa enough, the kedusha emerges. In other words, the whole point is to become alive. And the Alter Rebbe holds that since klipa is not a metzias, and the whole metzias klipa is a falsehood, when you break the klipa and the kedusha emerges, it doesn't emerge slowly. It emerges abruptly and radically. So here we go. V'hine. This unbelievably severe process of musar is beneficial to the divine soul. That what? 2 seconds ago, the guy was frozen. And now, if Leiv Nishbar, he breaks the already broken spirit, so to speak, you hit rock bottom, and then the light begins to shine. That to bring light to the eyes of this person, in truth, of Yichad Ein Seif, the actus of the Eibishter, in a vision that's called vivid. This person's neshama, who 5 minutes ago was so frozen because of Timtum that he felt nothing, the Timtum was broken by push it. You depress yourself so much that you push it, cause yourself pain, and the pain causes you to wake up, and when you wake up you have a clarity about the Eibush like as if you see him. Says the Rebbe, which is the root of the whole of the Aveda. This is the end of the shir. The point is, the Alter Rebbe's philosophy is that Klipa and Kedusha are not two options. Klipa and Kedusha are a thing and a non-thing. And when you break the klipa, the thing emerges. Now, what did Rabbi say? I'm going to say something this morning, which we're going to be going back to later, Lamed Aleph, Lamed Beis, and Lamed Gimel. And that is, the way I teach this Tanya is as follows. The Alter Rebbe is going to give us a few examples of what the neshama feels like. The neshama is a lakus. The neshama is chelik hamimam, it's a lakus, right? The neshama is an essence of life. The symptoms of the essence of life are simcha, which we had in Chavav, we're going to have again in Lamed Aleph. Re'iyah chushas, a clarity about God like as if you see him. And that's what we have over here. In Lamed Beis, he's going to speak about Ahavas Yisrael, and in Lamed Gimel, he's going to speak about Emunah. These four in Yodim, Simcha, Re'iyah chushas, which we have here, and then we're going to have Simcha again in Lamed Aleph, and then Ahavas Yisrael, Lamed Beis, and Emunah Gimel. The constant thing that Tzad Shavash we have is in every Jew neshama there already is Simcha, Re'iyah chushas of Alakus, Ahavas Yisrael, and Emunah, but it's covered. When you break the klipa, you don't have to bring out the neshama. The neshama comes out automatically because the neshama is the only thing that's real. Klipa is not considered the opposite of the neshama; it's considered the lack of the neshama. It seems real. That's the type of magbiya. It suggests itself to be true, and when you're not mispal, and you insist that the klipa is false, you see that the klipa was false the whole time. And this is the Alidei Zeyoyel and Nafshe. Here, a guy is so depressed that no eitzah helps except more depression. But the result is that he hits rock bottom, so to speak. And again, the Alter Rebbe, in Perek Lamed Aleph, the first page, he justifies the Musa that he gave over here. In other words, L'cheira, this V'hini Adei Zeyel should be after this page in Perek Lamed Aleph. The Alter Rebbe put it where he had to put it because he's smarter than me. But in Das Tachten, after you learn this page 78, Lamed Aleph page, you'll understand better the Adei Zeyel. You're breaking yourself because you want to get the neshama out. And you can't get the neshama out through simcha, you can't get the neshama out through his bonus, because it's not happening. You're metuptim. So when all else fails, you give musar. And the musar is effective to break the stranglehold of the klipa, and the nefesh halakis emerges. Tomorrow's shir is very long, as you can see. The nikud of tomorrow's shir is this point. That klipa is not the opposite of kedusha, it's the absence of it. Atzvah is not the opposite of simcha, it's the absence of it. Sfeikis and emuna, a lack, it's felt, choser, headed. Sfeikis and emunah, not believing in Hashem, is not the opposite of emunah. Atheism is not the alternative to faith, it's a lack of faith that comes from a lethargy and heaviness. And as we had on page 71, I've told this to you 25 times, and when you break it, the kedusha automatically emerges.